Hi cuties, my name is Hanako Kozumi and this is the channel Nerdy Nekoma. Everything here is about Haikyuu chat stories and fanfic. Thanks for joining us today. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. And with that, welcome to today's video. Or in other words, stay strong. A BokuAkaKuroKen Heart Comfort one-shot, though it's 2 parts again because, it was getting long. I don't really have any specific content warnings for this one, except I cried while writing it. Do with that whatever you want. The risk is up to you. And now, let's go. But before that, have you ever had struggles finding good Haikyuu merch or anime merch in general? Because I for sure did. It can be hard. But this shop offers amazing merch. Like, I'm literally obsessed with the Haikyuu merch. They have the cutest hoodies ever. Now, if you want to get 10% off, click the link in the description. They offer me a collaboration, which is literally amazing. And you support my channel this way. So, win-win. Let's go. Oi, Kodaro. Kuro nudged the still sleeping ace in his side. Tiredly, the other blinked up at him, obviously not fully lucid yet, and reached for the ravenet for cuddles. He almost gave in because a sleepy Bokuto was just too cute to say no. Kuro leaned down to gently kiss his forehead, but pulled away before the other could pull him into an embrace. Come on, you need to get up. What is going on? Kuro raised an eyebrow. You're going to be late for training. That's going on. Oh. Wait, what? The other laughed as he watched his boyfriend literally fall out of bed and stagger to his feet. He seemed to run into every doorframe and door on his way, first to the bathroom, then back to the bedroom to get dressed, and finally downstairs, grabbing his things on the way. It happened too fast as that Kuro could have stopped him, but luckily Akashi caught him before he could leave through the front door. Hey, Ko, it's alright. But I'm gonna be late. Yes, don't worry though, it's not that late yet, and this would be your first time anyway. They will forgive you. I'm sure everyone has been late before. Bokuto nodded slowly as Akashi guided him into the kitchen. He let himself slump down onto one of the kitchen chairs as the tiredness suddenly caught up to him. Here, eat something. He placed a plate in front of Bokuto's head, which rested on his arms on the table. Come on, Ko. Wouldn't it be much more embarrassing if you can't give 100% at training than if you are a little late? And Kashi chuckled. You know, Hinata might just beat you today if you don't eat something. Mean. Both of you. He whined and lifted his head, which suddenly felt all too heavy. Kuro put his arms around Bokuto's chest from behind and placed a soft kiss on his neck. Are you sure you are feeling okay? It's not like you to get up this late. The ace tensed and sighed. Kuro's voice was tainted with the concern that always seemed to be on his mind ever since he read In Another Life. Yes, I'm fine. I just overslept. Please don't overthink it again. The other hugged him tighter, as if he didn't want to let him go, as if he would be perfectly content just staying like this forever. He probably would be. That is, if Akashi and Kenma joined them in a group hug. He smiled to himself and started devouring the meal Akashi prepared for him. Kuro's arms still wrapped around him, though that hardly bothered him. He savored his warmth and affection. It made his heart swell with love and pride for being with the most amazing boyfriends he could ever wish for. Suddenly, a cough shook his body, and he fought to catch his breath. Kuro backed away and started to rub his back to ease the coughing. He breathed in deeply as soon as he was able to again. When he looked up, he was met first with Akashi's and then with Kuro's concerned gaze. "Hey, I'm fine." He tried to put all his usual energy and cheerfulness into his voice, but it sounded still a bit raspy from the cough. "I just choked on the food. That is all." He smiled in his typical bright fashion. Yet neither of them seemed to be convinced. His smile faltered a little as he got up and motioned for Akashi to come closer. When both were close enough, he opened his arms wide and pulled them into a hug. "It's just that fanfic that makes you so overly cautious. I'm fine, don't worry so much." He tightened the hug and slowly but surely felt them relax in his arms a bit. Kuro sighed. "I guess you're right. Just look out for yourself, okay?" "Of course." He felt Akashi's hands grabbing his shirt tightly as if he was afraid Bokuto would disappear any minute now. "I'm really sorry. I just can't get it out of my head. You know that I wouldn't... Tetsu? I would never leave you behind. Not like that. No matter what, I'll be by your side. Tetsu, I know. It was just a story. I love you." "I love you too." Bokuto pulled his head down a bit to kiss his temple before he looked him in the eyes, again smiling widely. "There's no reason to feel sad or guilty. I'm right here." His eyes widened. "Which I shouldn't be. Fuck, Coach is going to kill me." He went back to frantically gathering his things and made a run for the door. A tender smile spread on Kuro's lips. He never wanted it to be any different. This was perfect. Bokuto was perfect. No matter what it would take, what he would have to do to make sure he would be always this happy and healthy, he would. The guilt that had settled in his chest ever since he read the fanfic had slowly but surely become a constant presence. He hated it, himself, simply everything about it, because he understood it so well. If he was honest with himself, he wasn't sure he could bear the sight of Bokuto in such a state. If he could stay by his side like he promised. If it wasn't for the bond, the relationship they built over the past years, he would deem it impossible. But maybe that was exactly the point. In the story, wasn't it the reason he left? Because he couldn't bear seeing him suffer and becoming less himself every day? Because he wanted to remember him as he used to be? A lump in his throat felt like it was taking his breath. Tears stung behind his eyes as the thoughts overtook his thinking. "Tetsuro, I'm fine. Akashi raised an eyebrow, and Kuro couldn't help but chuckle as he reached for his hand and pulled him into another embrace. Okay, I'm not. But I will be, as long as you all stay with me. Of course. His smallest arms wrapped around him, and his fingers soothingly traced his upper spine and neck. He is going to be fine. Kuro nodded against his neck. I know. We will make sure of it. I will. I promise. Don't promise something you can't keep. Bokuto-san! I already thought you were sick or something. He tensed a bit, but forced a smile as he met Hinata halfway into the gym. Nope, never been better. In other words, you have no good excuse to being late. He huffed and got ready for training. It went noticeably well for the first few hours, considering that his limbs still felt like someone had added weight to them, and that there was a subtle throbbing in his head that just wouldn't go away no matter how much time passed. Hey, Bokuto, are you okay? You seem a bit out of it today. What? He thought it went well. Am I not playing well enough? His eyes widened slightly and he clenched his hands into fists to suppress the shivers running through his body. He felt cold, too cold. Like it was freezing in here, but it couldn't be. The other students seemed to have a problem, so why did he? No, yeah, play is okay. Maybe not top of your game like usual, but we all have those days. I was just wondering, where's Bokuto? The loud, cheerful, and annoyingly happy Bokuto. He nudged him in the side, but even though he was teasing, there was real concern in his eyes. The spiker turned away and didn't spare him another glance. I'm fine. I have to be. Yet everyone noticed that I'm not. He clenched his teeth together. The familiar stinging sensation of tears building up in his eyes returned when he remembered the worried faces of his boyfriends this morning, or their pain after they read that fanfic. What they told him about it. If there truly was something wrong with him, he had to keep it to himself. He had to figure it out alone. He never wanted to see them like that, ever again. He didn't want to be the reason for their anguish and sorrow. His play got worse with every passing minute. Bokuto tried to blame the frustration, but if he was being honest, every landing became more unsteady. Every time he jumped, the other side became more blurred, and with every breath, a faint burning echoed at the back of his throat. Bokuto! His head snapped around. He could remember it so perfectly. Akashi's soft and tender reassurance whenever he was out of it, the way he cared for him in high school. The way he had always been by his side, how he would build him back up in situations like this. It was all so vividly in his memory, as if he was right there. But when he turned around, he wasn't. The tears started slowly, his eyes wide open and raw with emotion. He missed him. He was right there, and yet he missed him. He hadn't even read the fanfic, and yet the simple thought of leaving him behind in pain hurt him so much. What if it was true? Bokuto? What if he was destined to be sick, to abandon them? Didn't he just hallucinate? Couldn't it be that... Hey, Bokuto, you don't seem okay. Take a break. No, I have to be okay. Everyone gets sick sometimes. It feels awful, but just think about how much volleyball you can play once you get better. The ginger smiled at him brightly. But what if he couldn't? What if it was just like in the story and he could never play with them ever again? If he could never hear Tetsuro's teasing words and feel a soothing touch again. Never hold Kemma in his arms again and look in those incredible ember eyes. Never see Kichi again and listen to his tender reassurance. What if it was a last time? Soon. A last time for everything. A last time for loving them. I can't be sick. He shook his head slowly. You are. Now go, before you get us sick as well. No, I can't. He was sent home, regardless of his protest. Etsumu almost insisted on accompanying him because he looked like he could pass out, but Bokuto refused. He wasn't sick. He couldn't be. He couldn't do that to them. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you liked it. It was definitely a lot of fun making this, even though, as I mentioned, I cried. I made another short video about that already a week ago or something, so yeah. For all those of you who wondered, this is what this whole thing was about, and of course this is not finished. Second part is already, I'm working on it. I can't promise when exactly it will be uploaded, but it will be very, very soon. Now, if you liked it, please consider leaving a like because it really helps my channel grow. And if you don't want to miss out on anything in the future, consider subscribing because this channel obviously is awesome. Yes, and now I hope you have a wonderful and amazing day.